walked into the prison and did something that even the most hardened criminals wouldn't dare to do. I brazenly pulled out $100 and made a bet. This place was always touted as the most impregnable prison around, but to me, its defenses were as flimsy as a child's Lego construction. Predictably, my audacious act rubbed the warden the wrong way, and he personally threw me into a cell, but I wasn't the least bit fazed. Instead, I was secretly elated because my goal all along was to stage a daring escape. As I was saying goodbye to my wife, she was visibly distraught. She peered at me through the iron bars with a look of deep concern and asked me a question. Her actions were a blend of genuine affection and a subtle attempt to cover for my plans. Little did we know, the seemingly innocent exchange caught the warden's eye. He immediately barked at me to open my mouth for inspection. The warden rummaged around inside but came up empty-handed. I stared back at him defiantly, thinking to myself that a true master of illusion would never make such amateurish mistakes. The key was indeed in my mouth, but who would have guessed it was stashed in my windpipe? Just like that. I got my hands on the key, but the whole thing was so effortless that I found it rather underwhelming. Thanks to that heart-wrenching farewell scene in front of the cell, I quickly became the talk of the town and made it onto the front pages of the news. This put the police in a tight spot. They faced public scrutiny and were suspected of serious corruption by their superiors, so they had it in for me, big time. But I wasn't about to be intimidated. Instead, I deliberately sought out the most heavily fortified prison in the city to take on a new challenge. This time, they trussed me up like a turkey, binding my body with chains and sealing my mouth shut. The warden, trying to save face in front of media, declared, "If this guy manages to escape, this time I'm out of a job." As soon as they were out of sight, I slowly extended my left hand, which had gone unnoticed all this time. To everyone's surprise, there were 6 fingers. This was my secret ace up the sleeve. It wasn't long before the door creaked open again, and all that was left inside the cell was a heap of discarded chain. The warden was beside himself with rage, and his shouts were so loud that they seemed like they could bring the roof down. In the end, I not only pulled off another spectacular escape, but also came perilously close to costing the warden his job. After this escapade, my name Houdini became a household word. But despite my newfound fame, I wasn't exactly over the moon. The simple props at my disposal just couldn't keep up with the ever-growing expectations of my audience. Just when I was at my wit's end, along came Jim, a brilliant but overlooked prop maker. He boasted that the pot-shaped key he'd crafted could unlock any lock on the planet, and it was so tiny that it could be hidden anywhere on the body. When he saw that I wasn't entirely convinced, he whipped out a thin wire and sliced through a piece of wood with ease. While his demonstrations didn't completely win me over, I was truly impressed by Jim's ingenuity. I knew right then that this creative genius was going to be an invaluable partner in my future endeavors. True to his word, Jim wasted no time and soon had a large-sized water tank ready for me to test out.